Hi, today's topic will be success, the definition of success, and the individual and collective perception of success, as well as the fallacy of success and the downfall of ambition and losing touch with reality. Stay tuned. The first instance is defining success. You will notice nowadays the average individual and his or her use of internet, technology, and social media, and how we perceive different definitions and ideas of success daily and perpetually, because we're very involved in the world, or we think we are, through the screen of a phone, tablet, or a computer. We perceive success as something we identify with idiosyncratically, individually, and uniquely. There are people who identify success in persons such as Elon Musk, and there are people who identify success in people such as Mark Zuckerberg, or you name it. To each of those individuals, what is unique is our perception of them and what we consider to be successful in their behavior in correlation to ours. So basically we see ourselves in the people that we observe as successful, and therefore we apply the same principles in attaining what we call success. This basically means that we interpret these people's success as something that we need to do to acquire that same success or be better at it. This causes plenty of fragmentation within the individual because it does not allow for one to explore his or her own inherent qualities, but rather provides a frame which is to be followed, rules that are meant to be followed, not broken, to attain a certain fixed and desired outcome. There is nothing inherently wrong with that, but at the same time, if that is something that you don't want to do, and you want to start something from scratch and on your own, then that is a much more demanding path and one that will be faced with much more obstacles. And as such, you will not perceive it to be the path that will take you towards success. This is where it is very important to make the distinction between your interpretation of someone's success, someone else's success, and your interpretation of what success is to you. Now, what does this mean? This means that you, if possible, should observe yourself deeply, truly, and fully, and discover your vocation, what you're inherently good at, and try to see if it is possible, and it is, to invest in exactly that aspect of yourself, your personality, and build success on those grounds. Do not forget that everything we observe and see is an image, that we ascribe certain meaning and value in accordance and in correlation with our own values. So when we say someone is successful, they might not be successful for someone else, but they're successful for you. You perceive them as successful, and therefore that has meaning and value to you. So if you can see yourself as someone who is meant to be successful, what would you do? How would you have behaved? What would be the desired criteria for this said success? Normally, I would not suggest or give any hints, but I would like to share what I discovered on my own path and what allowed me to build, nurture, and secure success for myself and to teach this to other people. So if you like to, here goes. 1. Authenticity. And this is something you will hear almost every YouTuber blabbing on about for hours and in so many videos, and now myself included. Now, what the hell do we mean by authenticity? If you're asking yourself, well, I am authentic and I'm real as I am, you're not. Unless you're constantly having the awareness of yourself, your being, your essence, your situations, your interactions, where you are in life, constantly, there is no self-awareness, and therefore you're very likely to fragment your life into various pieces, and that you're just coping and adapting to different and various situations that you put yourself in, and maybe don't even know how you got into at the end of the day. But this is just sharing personal experience, so you should see this for yourselves. Authenticity is not possible in an environment that is detrimental to yours or anyone else's well-being. And if it is only at the cost and at the detriment of your health, and you, meaning you suppressing what you consider to be true. For example, if you are at a workplace where you clearly see people being treated not kindly, with disrespect and disregard, and if you accept that as moral, as obligatory, as natural, then you are being inauthentic, because you know that as an empathic, and I assume you're an empathic, rational, normal human being, if you want success, you better. If you see and observe injustice, it is a reflection of you, how you measure up to this and how you respond. Which brings me to the second point, and why successful people have this quality. And the second quality is conscientiousness. Conscientiousness is something that Jordan Peterson speaks a lot about in his lectures. What does conscientiousness mean? It means, essentially, that you have everyone else's, this is very difficult to understand, you have everyone else's well-being as part of your personal consideration. It is an incredible trait to possess. It is a gift to be like that. And ironically, you will hear often in spiritual teachings and communities that I've sadly been a part of, that you will be told that making other people, or allowing and giving to other people, as in to make them feel good, happy and taken care of, is not taking care of yourself. There is truth in this, but we should go very deep into this process and understand it better, so as to not sacrifice ourselves to someone else's benefit, but find reciprocal and mutually beneficial solutions that will allow us to come in the same space together, co-occupy it, and then work together as for no one to lose and everyone to benefit. And that is possible. And that is conscientiousness. Having each other's interest in mind and taking them as part of our own. And it is a very difficult quality to attain, but it is an essential quality of leaders. 3. Learn from everyone and everything, always. If you are focused only on hyper-successful people, and if you only think about success in terms of hyper, ultra, giga millionaires, billionaires, you are having a very tunnel-visioned focus of what success is. You might be successful just in this moment without realizing it. Identify the aspects of your life you're good at, and there have to be some. And if there aren't, see where you can work. Learning from people doesn't mean just listening what they say. Smart and intelligent people and leaders observe other people and learn from their behavior, their habits, and they observe them as in how learning and seeing how they can improve themselves if they were those people doing the same things. For example, if I observe a friend in a relationship or in a business partnership doing or saying something that I consider to be not a good practice and something that could have been done better, I take note of that, I write that down, and I identify and therefore change my behavior accordingly as to increase the probability and chances of entering a next transaction or relationship, whatever we're speaking about, in a more successful way as to, remember, increase the probability of that happening. We cannot control anything or anyone. We can only impact it and affect it, as in to alter its outcome. There are different schools of thought about altering the outcome, whether that's good or bad. I will take that in another video. But for now, I want you to think of success as something that you can affect to a very large extent, but something you cannot control. You can only do your best up to the point where you can let go. When you're done doing your absolute best, you can sit back and let the world do its thing, which is either recognize you, identify you, or simply you learning what you did wrong, what could have been improved, and learning on your own through a beautiful process of the mind that is automatic of how to improve. It will come to you so beautifully and automatically that you won't even see it coming. So, observe other people, situations, interactions, see what you would improve, how you would have done it, and then do it. Because that is how you improve. You don't have to make mistakes. You will inevitably. That is the best way to learn. But you can observe others' mistakes, and then you can learn from them, incorporate them in your behavior and in your mind, and you will not make as many mistakes, and your behavior will be kept in check by you. And you will see yourself automatically putting in situations that will result in higher probability of your most desired outcome of future, maybe even the present, happening. Finally, you decide what success is to you. And I mentioned this at the beginning of the video. If you're doubting yourself, that is the most normal thing to do. Personal advice is to never start something if you're doubting it. People enter relationships, businesses, work, all kinds of arrangements. My light went out. So people enter all kinds of relationships, transactions, arrangements with the feeling of doubt. If you do this, you are effectively sabotaging the future of that relationship and arrangement. Because you're approaching it from the perspective that it will not work out favorably to either of the sides or one of the sides. You, namely, if you're the one doubting. If you remove the obstacles that are in your way, and if you simply get busy with working on what is blocking you, instead of simply doing something for the sake of it, you will see that you will accomplish much more in a very small period of time in comparison to when you're doubtful and when you have blockages and when you accomplish very little, and you will observe this in a very long period of time. So when people, for example, such as Tim Ferriss, speak about effectiveness, they mean exactly and specifically you committing 100% of your effort and conscious attention and effort into a task, into a goal. But you need to have a clear mind for that, and you need to be focused and clear from all the obstacles that are in your way. So please don't forget, success is what you think success is. And as you change, what you believe success to be will change. Change yourself and you will change the world. I hope this video helped. If it did, please like, share, subscribe. Take everything that I said in this video with a grain of curiosity, a grain of salt. Do not trust every word that I say, but question it for yourselves and discover on your own whether what I say is true, somewhat true, or untrue to you, because it doesn't have to be. It is the message that matters, not the messenger. Thank you for enjoying this content, and see you in the next episode and video. Bye.